What that means is that players have to stop thinking that they can carry any match in any plane based on skill alone, and start considering MOBA style player roles that they take on when they choose to take out a certain vehicle. Hello lads and welcome back to the channel. My name is theScottishKoala, and if you notice this video being out a little bit late, that's because I want to be very careful with what I'm about to talk about and how I say what I want to say. As you can tell by the title of this video, in which I'm not sure quite what I'm going to title it, but I'm sure it'll be something suitably edgy, we're talking about 8.0 jets. Now originally I had this video planned to be a direct response to Napalm Rat's video on the MD450 Uragan and the state of 8.0, but I decided that was probably a bad idea. I heavily disagree with a lot of what Napalm said in that video, and I also don't support the tactic he displayed of sitting on the runway waiting for enemies to engage him before bailing out of the plane and joining back in when that enemy had passed by or died. I don't think he has the experience to be saying the things that he was, and I think as a content creator you need to have a little more responsibility when you say things with such conviction. Despite this, I admit his video had some merit. He pointed out some legitimate problems that need to be talked about, which is the reduced effectiveness of 8.0 aircraft in an up-tier, aircraft that should be noteworthy and exceptional aircraft in their own right, like the F2H that you're seeing on screen right now, or the newly added Uragan. What I don't agree with, however, is how heavily he went and bashed Gaijin for these issues, half of which are player generated and not the fault of Gaijin at all. He was recklessly insulting, sarcastic, and incredibly narrow-minded in his attack on the company that's given us this amazing game for free. So if Napalm happens to see this, you need to show some goddamn respect, man. But alas, I don't want to attack Napalm Rata, that would be hypocritical, and I also mean nothing against the guy. I disagree with and argue against his points, not against him as a person or a channel. So instead of picking out all the holes and falsifications in that video, we're going to discuss a tactic that I've used to be incredibly effective in my various 8.0 aircraft and secure the win almost all the time for my team, and that is by playing a support fighter role. One of the main problems I see plaguing 8.0 jet players right now, including Napalm, is that they play their 8.0 fighters in the same way that they would play 9.0 fighters, trying to just ignore the performance difference and treat the engagement as if they are on a level playing field with the enemy 9.0 fighters. Guess what? You're not. The tactic I'm employing in this battle is to hang back safely at an altitude where I can observe the battle as it unfolds without being easy food for the top tier jets of the enemy team, while still being close enough to support my teammates if and when there is an opportunity to engage. Playing at 8.0 in a 9.0 match is all about strategy, carefully planning your engagement and moving in swiftly to pounce if and when the opportunity arises. What I like to do is wait for a couple of players to be locked in an engagement and try to predict when the enemy is likely to get greedy, bleeding out a significant portion of their energy just to snag a kill. Before they can, I come in, hopefully saving my teammate and killing the unsuspecting enemy fighter without ever being in a vulnerable situation. Think of every 8.0 as a Focke-Wulf 190, capable in a scuffle but best used in such a way that it'll never be vulnerable. Sometimes that means you'll go a whole match without more than one engagement, during which you may not score the kill. But if you can say that you helped your team to win, then you've done your job. This all ties into a video I made a little while ago on responsibility in top tier jet combat and how you should always be focusing priority targets and thinking about the team as a whole, rather than focusing on yourself. Your job in an 8.0 is to harass and confuse the enemy team, not to try and outplay them in a one-on-one engagement, as those types of dogfights are rarely winnable. Napalm said to me that the performance difference between most 8.0s and 9.0s is greater than the performance difference between 3.0 and 6.0. What that means is that players have to stop thinking that they can carry any match in any plane based on skill alone, and start considering MOBA style player roles that they take on when they choose to take out a certain vehicle. Most 9.0 jet battles take place below an altitude of 2,000 meters, and so flying up to 3,000 to maybe 3,500 meters and waiting for an opportunity to present itself is generally the best way of playing these subpar aircraft. Then, in a down tier, you become the aggressive top tier players of that match, and can be fiercely effective in both situations if you can learn the different types of playstyles required in an up tier or down tier, which is something I find quite fun. Now, McChickenbites made a video in response to Napalm's, talking about making up tiers less annoying by increasing rewards for killing aircraft of a higher tier. He went into a lot more detail in that video, which I will link below, but that's the basis of the idea. What I think would be a better idea would be to rework the battle ratings of aircraft around the 8.0 to 9.0 range to include BRs such as 8.3 and 8.7. These would fit aircraft like the F9Fs, Medium Mark 8, Sea Venom, early MiG-15, G91 and newly added Mystere 2 very well, giving players a reason to fly them. More heavily populating the battle ratings of 7.3 and 7.7 would also be a good idea, as each of these BRs currently only has 1 or 2 planes to fill it, making it impossible to make jet matches that don't involve full up tiers or full down tiers for most players. Putting the top performing jets like the F2 Sabre, CL-13, Hunter and MiG-17 at a battle rating above 9.0 would also be good, as would changing the max battle rating differential from plus or minus 1.0 to plus or minus 0.7 per match. This would give us matches of battle ratings 7.7 to 8.3 that might include F-80s, F-9F Panthers and Sea Venoms versus ME-262Cs and F-84s, the Italian ones, or early MiG-15s and Yak-30s. This would also allow for matches made entirely up of top tier jets, setting those planes apart from the jet bombers that many of them so despise. In the past, match queue times and a lack of players have prevented this from being a viable fix, but these days we have so many new people joining top tier jet combat in ARB that I think this fix should be reconsidered by Gaijin, as well as players such as McChickenBites who said that this wasn't an option. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. As of recording this, I have just finished live streaming, which is a hell of a lot of fun, so thank you to everybody who was a part of that. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, as there will be new content out on my channel every single day. Go try out the tactics I talked about, leave your thoughts in the comment section below, let's get a discussion going on, and I'll see you next video.